Stacey Howard is here for Word of Mouth, which is fantastic. Thank you for coming down.
Thanks for having me here today.
I might just pull that one up a little bit so we can hear you better.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay.
All right. And Stacey, of course, you are owner of Mockingbird Lounge, a secondhand bookstore and cafe.
Yes.
So we are talking books as word of mouth, and same goes. So if you have a recommendation and you'd like to tell us what it is and share it with everyone else, we'd love to hear it. 0467 922 891 is the text line. Stacey, I had a quick look at some of the books that you were looking to recommend today, and I was excited by all of them, which is always fun. Do you want to take us through your first recommendation?
Yeah, well, it's a really eclectic mix of
Isn't it?
titles today, but the first one is Runt by Craig Silvey. So Craig, this is a children's book, but he's written Jasper Jones and Honeybee, which I think both are ones that I've recommended in the past on the show. And so, you know, actually I was really enjoying children's books lately as well, but as soon as this one came out, I thought I have to read it because it's Craig Silvey. And it is just a really lovely read. It's about a young girl and her mutt dog, Runt, in a small country town, and they, you know, stumble upon agility competitions and find a way to enter this competition, and the story is just about their journey with that. And, you know, it's got a full cast of characters, all the small country town characters, and you've got goodies and baddies and a bit of like an adventure story. And it was just like a really wholesome, really enjoyable read for adults, I guess, and children. Yeah. Really quick, easy read. And it all did, as I guess children's books probably all do, wrap up in a nice little happy ending. You know, the baddies got what were coming to them, and the goodies all had good things happen to them, but, you know, a little bit too much for my liking perhaps, but probably what you want out of the book and out of the story.
Okay, so adults and children alike, but what kind of age group are we looking at for kids?
Probably around 10 plus, 10 to 12, yeah.
Okay, and it's got some illustrations through it as well. I mean, it's a novel size, it's a, you know, hardcover book, but it's got some
that was a nice
through
surprise.
Yeah,
it was cute.
Okay, so there's one for the kids and maybe the child inside you if you're an adult. Runt by Craig Silvey. What else have you brought for us today?
Okay, so the next one is called The Measure. It's not one I'd heard of. The author I hadn't heard of, Nikki Ehrlich. One of my book club members recommended it, like so wholeheartedly recommended it as an excellent book club read that I straight away just thought, yep, okay, let's get this in for our book clubs. And I thought, I have to read it. And it is actually the perfect book club book because, okay, so the plot of the book here. So it's current day, and every adult from age 22 up wakes up in the morning and there's a box at their house. Inside the box is a piece of string. Now, after, you know, some investigations, it comes to light that this piece of string is the length of your life.
Oh.
So you could have a short string, you could have a long string, and you could choose not to open the box, or you could choose to open the box. So the story is just following all these different characters and their journey through this, like whether they open the box or not, and then all the ramifications that come from this. And it's good because you've got so many elements to it. Like you've got their own personal stories, and then you've got like what happens, how do governments react? So you've got like North Korea confiscating all the boxes.
Oh, how
and you've
interesting.
got China forcing everybody to open their box and report the outcomes to the authorities. So, and then you've got things like, dilemmas like, do doctors treat people with short strings? So it's exploring all these themes of like segregation and discrimination, and, dating apps pop up for short stringers and long stringers because the long stringers don't want to date someone who's got a short string. So yeah, there's the segregation. So and it opens like so many questions. Like, do you open the box? Is obviously the first question, and then what do you do? So it's so many good discussion points.
It sounds a bit deep and perhaps a bit dark, although the idea that you would wake up one morning and there'd be a box in your house with a piece of string is obviously some levity in there. Does it straddle both of those? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Like, it doesn't come across as a really deep, heavy book. Okay. Although there are those themes, but I think I wouldn't call it a deep
traumatic kind of book. I think it really just explores those themes, but without going to too dark a place.
Okay. If you've got a book recommendation that you'd like to share, we'd love to hear it. 1300 222 891 or 0467 922 891. I'm with Stacey Howard, owner of Mockingbird Lounge, for our word of mouth segment. And she's just been talking there, her recommendations this week: Runt by Craig Silvey and The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. I'll have a look on the text line as you get into your next one to see if anyone's popped through a recommendation. But what's your third one for today?
Okay, so the third one is The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell. This is a historical fiction of hers, and she recently wrote Hamnet, which was the story of Shakespeare's son and Shakespeare's life in England in that time. And that was really well liked by our book clubs, and I really enjoyed it as well. I like historical fiction. So she brought this one out, and I thought, yep, we'll just get this for our book clubs, because just on the back of Hamnet being so popular. And yeah, I found this really just as good, I think. The cover is really like exotic and looks really like enthralling and interesting.
It does, doesn't it?
It's kind of misleading, I think, because it was not that exciting as a book.
Okay.
So some people didn't like Hamnet; they thought it was a bit boring, and I think if you didn't like that, then you won't like this.
But it's got a fun cover, so
it's
start
beautiful.
with that.
Yeah, but it's a historical fiction set in what is now Italy in 1500 and something, where the Duchess is married off to a duke. Now it's a fictionalised version of a true Duchess of Ferrara.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There we go. Lucretia. Give me the pronunciations
I'm
there.
Lucretia.
So you've got her life from a young girl, and then she's married off at 15 to a different family, to a duke. And so you've got all that history of that time and the way they lived and the fashions and the art. And so it's truly the historical elements that you're looking for there. There's obviously a story to it, and you definitely should read to the end, and I won't say anything more about that. Anyone who's read it already will know what I'm talking about there.
Oh,
but
there's a big tease. That's enough to get you to the end.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it. I definitely found it interesting enough to keep going back and picking up. Probably not like a thriller page turner that, some people are after, but if you like historical fiction, you like learning about a totally different time and place that you have no idea about, yeah, that might be for you.
Well, you've given me at least a couple to stick on my list. I haven't read anything of late to add to the conversation. Can I ask, out of the three, and I know they're very different, out of the three, did you have a favourite this time?
I have to say Runt, just for the cute factor and the easy readability, and just, it was just really pleasant and enjoyable.
And there's a dog involved, which is going to get me over the line every time.
Yeah, and nothing bad happens to the dog.
Not a spoiler alert.
No.
That's perfect. Well, look, thank you for coming down and being with us live today. It's and face-to-face is really lovely.
Yeah,
and thank you for your recommendations. So that was Runt by Craig Silvey, The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich, and The Marriage Portrait by Maggie O'Farrell.